Is humanity addicted to progress? And humanity is addicted to emotional, spiritual, and technological progress.
Genome project. They wanted to basically just map out all the human genomes and find out, how we're made up. But they're starting to find these schemas that, even though like my mom and dad will have two different genetic patterns, right? Once these patterns form together and create me, there's information that's being passed on through their DNA that was more environmental. So it will mutate over 1 and even 2 generations. Right. Where they used to think, you got your grandfather's DNA and your
right.
And it goes back and back, great-grandfathers and great-great-grandfathers, all that shit, which is, still part of that information's in there, but it's being more corrupt just basically through environmental things, like your diet and,
right.
What you're exposed to. Like one of the cases, one of the studies they did was post 9/11, where they took all the women that were pregnant in their last trimester when the bombing hit, mm-hmm. and they, got the, did a DNA test on them, and looked for, I forget exactly how they came out with this, but they basically looked for a certain type of enzyme that was a stress enzyme related to that, to that event, mm-hmm. and found out that stress was related almost like 80 to 90% over all the women that were pregnant in their last mm-hmm. trimester. Mm-hmm. And so that same stress hormone that was created during that time was actually passed on.
I think there is an inherent need to grow, inherent need to get better and stronger. That defines our evolutionary heritage. From a single cell amobia to a very complex set of biological processes, the human organism, I think we evolved. Is that addiction?
My biggest problem with technology is the gap it puts in relationships and distance.
Yeah.
For instance, as a kid, like when we had like a girlfriend or a boyfriend, or even friends, you had to see them regularly, like Monday through Friday, Saturday, at school, out of school. You had to be able to go and like knock on their door and say hi. I meet people online, you know what I mean? Like not like necessarily dating, but like we go on and we meet for Skype. Yesterday I had a Skype meeting, 2 chicks in New York for a business that they're running out of San Francisco.
Yeah.
Yet no one lives in San Francisco. This girl I'm talking to is in Sacramento. It's 2.5 hours away. I feel like I know her, but I probably don't. I mean, text messaging right now. Funny thing is, I just got a message from her right now, and
nice.
It's silly because we're having these like deep conversations about emotions and mood, yet over a phone, with limited emotions. It's like I try and like really express what I mean with something with like a winky face or like LOL or YOLO or haha or just the ha, like ha, yeah, like whatever. You try and invent new things and new ways to say things that like, give people a feeling that it's you, it's your emotion, it's your mood, so. You know what's funny is I had this concept a long time ago about like people and life. And how so few people stop to just kind of question the things that they're doing and the things that they're involved in. People don't think about that kind of stuff. How often do you walk with your head straight up and look at the sky? wonder how quiet it was back then.
Digital technology, it sounds very good. It's, so to speak, digitizing our trash, making zeros and ones out of our trash. So we think we save, we make the environment better. What we sometimes forget is there are aspects to digital technology that is real, that is physical. And really there's three different pieces about it that we should be considering is the client server and in between how to run it. So on the client side, all of our electronic gadgets, they need to be manufactured with metals, rare metals. All kinds of energy is being put in it in order to produce our gadgets, phones, iPads, all of it. And these metals, they pollute big time when we take them out of the earth. And mainly China, a little bit Africa, Latin America, US. So we're polluting just to build our gadgets. And these gadgets, unfortunately, have a very short lifespan, 3, 4, 5 years, and they're very old already. We need new gadgets. We need to renew, so to speak, the pollution. And these gadgets then have to be recycled. They have to be thrown away, polluting again. So that's on the client side, high level. On the server side, what we call the server side in our technological world is we are storing all of this somewhere, usually not locally. All that information you search and you store and you keep is in giant data centers. And there again, we have large computers that we produce, that produce that information. And all these computers, after 3 years again, they're old. After 5 years, 6 years, we throw them away. So there again, we have to produce all of that, all these hard drives, RAM, CPU, and we have to throw them away again after only 3, 4, 5 years, which is really a very short cycle compared to traditional paper. Even poor quality paper can last for decades. High quality paper literally lasts for centuries. We have perfectly readable books that are 400, 500 years old. The Gutenberg Bible being one of them. These are still usable after hundreds of years. And finally, what we forget, the third part, is the energy in between to make it all run. Those data centers use enormous amounts of energy. They are almost like small cities very often. And they need to be run 24/7. Even in an idle state, they use a lot of energy. So this digitized fantasy, that clean world we like to think of it, is really not all that clean and not all that efficient as a world.
My baby left me, I find a new place to dwell.